Welcome, everyone. Happy Saturday. I'm the Grace Strega, and I'm here to give you your daily collective read for today, Saturday, November 29th, 2025. We will be doing today a masculine, feminine, and non-binary energy update. Bearing in mind, this is not based on gender, but what one feels most aligned to. We're going to get started right now. With masculine energy. We are going to be using the Nouveau tarot deck. We've already got two of the cards out. Just bear with me. First two cards in the headspace for masculine are both transverse. Can I please get one more? Bottom of the deck, stuck to the table. What do we have coming through here? We have the Fool card in its transverse. We also have the Two of Cups in its transverse in combination with the Four of Wands in its upright. So let's the one thing I want to talk about with this energy, and I was talking about this right before we started the podcast, the difficulty or the hurdle. And I know, and this is what I meant. I had so many individuals talking and asking me, like, when is the retrograde going to end? And I kept on saying, slowly. It's like, it's not a light switch moment. It's not the modality or the experience where it came in and then it's gonna go away. It's spooled up. It's gonna unspool. The difficulty, and this is what we have to kind of be conscientious about, because often the way I keep on describing us coming out of this retrograde is it feels somewhat backwards, right? Specifically because the planet that is coming out of the retrograde first right now is Saturn. And the thing with Saturn is I keep on describing it as Saturn is back energy, is the best way I can describe it. It's working through density. It's feeling a lot of that. It's feeling a lot of that energetic intensity. So the difficulty point is the fact that we've got Saturn going direct while Mercury and a bunch of other planets are still retrograde. It can often feel like, I like to describe, it can sometimes create those icing on the cake moments where there's like a lot of stuff happening and it's like something that typically wouldn't bother you. You know what I mean? Like something that would typically just like not be a big deal. But when you're already feeling stretched thin, something small can sometimes feel like it can sometimes feel like that straw that sometimes feels like it makes us want to energetically snap. I want to I want to say this to a lot of the masculine energy that's experiencing this right now, bearing in mind this is not based on gender, but what one feels most aligned to. It's the vibe. It's not you right now. It's the vibe. Working through that. Okay? It's going to get easier. Like it's going to get energetically easier. But the thing is, the fact that we've got, like, this is the apex of the retrograde. And the thing about the retrograde season, I've been kind of saying this, I'm less concerned with us being in the retrograde. I'm more concerned with the order by which a lot of these planets are coming out of it. Because you'll recall, what was the most recent planet that we had coming out of retrograde? It was Pluto. It was like Pluto. It was Pluto in Saturn. So it's like you basically get the combination force of of dread. Like, oh goody. It's like, oh goody. It can sometimes create that feeling in relationality to dread, but also the feeling of the frustration point in the speed by which things change, right? It's a lot of that. It's a lot of that type of vibration. So make sure, and I'm going to refer back to what we've been seeing a lot right now in relationality to the work, like the work that we articulate, which is it's talking more about the refinement of feelings and understanding as well that feelings are refined, that having feelings isn't the full breadth of how we feel. Like, it's good, it's wonderful to be able to articulate upon the feelings that we have. But the space, right? The space by which we not only articulate upon the feelings that we have, but also the space by which we understand why we feel the things we feel. The ability to talk about how we're feeling and not subjecting another to it. And listen, I know how hard that is, right? It can sometimes feel impossible, right? When you're caught in it, like when you're feeling emotional, I know how hard it can sometimes be to want to like kind of bring that slowness into a situation. So make sure, I keep wondering, make sure you're having proportional conversations is what I keep on seeing. And I keep on getting proportionality. Like, proportionality is effectively being able to communicate upon something in a way that, and I keep on hearing, like, look, the emotions that we know tell us where to go, right? That's what emotions are for. And I know sometimes it doesn't feel like that. I know sometimes it doesn't feel like that. But the emotions that we know tell us where to go is because when we're doing the work to understand our emotions, right? When we stop just feeling them and instead introspecting upon them, we find directions, right? But sometimes, right? Sometimes the emotions often can sometimes feel like they get in the way of that. So being able to effectively articulate and identify and working through that, I just keep on seeing like there's a lot of, I feel like there's a lot of that energy that's kind of working through. And you see what's you see what's happening? You see what's happening even as you see how I know it's hard to talk about our feelings. It's hard to talk about our feelings. Makes us feel very vulnerable. I know it's a vulnerable place, but you're safe in vulnerable places, right? Sometimes the body doesn't know that, right? Like I keep wondering, the body does keep score, but also sometimes the body can't remember these things. So our ability to effectively be able to articulate and identify, right? The understanding of what the feeling, I keep wondering, understanding the feeling of vulnerability and being able to counteract that in relationality to the vulnerability that is healthy, right? The vulnerability that is healthy versus the vulnerability that is energetically reactive. Because I keep on getting that the ability to, we need a word for it. We don't have a word for why don't we have a word for the ability to tell the difference between the vulnerability that allows us to be reactive, which is good. Like in the moment they have to do something quick, right? Versus that same reactivity, right, can often get in the way of being energetically vulnerable when one needs to be vulnerable. Why don't we need a word for that? Okay, continuing to get clarification, moving towards the headspace of the feminine right now. We're going to use the Smith-Waite Centennial deck. Can I get 3 cards, please? Yeah, 10 of Wands. Ooh, Devil card in its upright. And three of Pentacles. 3 of Pentacles in its upright. I would not be surprised right now if there's feminine energy, like working through a case of the blahs, is what I keep on getting. And I'm not surprised. Like, the thing about it is, like, especially let's walk like let's talk about this case of the, like, and I want to say this, like, feminine, if you've been going through a case of the blahs and you literally tell me, and I'm going to say to you, let me guess, did the case of the blahs start like 2 days ago? And you're going to say yes. And I'm going to say that's Saturn, that's the Saturn energy. It's the Saturn energy. It's not, don't overly internalize upon a little bit of that energetic feeling, because I'm telling you right now, I want to describe like, and the funny thing is, and it's always interesting because as I mentioned, I'm not someone who is an astrologer, but I look to the astrology to me because whenever I'm reading, I'm like, I need to see what is happening. I need to get clarity on it. So I remember how I said a few days ago, something's happening with Venus. You know, I said something's happening with Venus. And it's like I'll tell you right now, it's what just happened that's making you feel like that is Mercury is retrograde and Venus passed before Mercury. And so the thing about that, and again, and then Saturn, right? Like Saturn energetically coming back, like coming out of retrograde in that same moment can often be like, I'll tell you right now, it's like that energy of looking back and being like, where did the time go? Okay, it's like it can create a lot of that type of energy. It can create a lot of those feelings. Like it's a lot of, oh, the sentiment. Oh no, the sentiment is coming. It's like, so yeah, you tell me you're feeling sentimental right now, and I'm going to be like, oh really? I find that remarkable. It's what we're experiencing. But the thing about it, and I keep on seeing, the one thing I want to describe. And the one thing I want to reaffirm to feminine energy feeling like this, the way to help with heavy sentiment is having your hands full of present. Okay? The way to heal from heavy sentiment is to have your hands full of presence. And presence means effectively remembering that building into the space of like here, right? Like that is effectively what allows us to kind of work through those modalities or those experiences by which I keep on hearing nostalgia and sentimentality are good, but they're like seasoning. It's like you put a little bit on something, but too much, like too much, and it ruins the taste of now, is what I keep on seeing, right? So there's something really important about that. So I just kind of, I feel like, I feel like I keep on hearing like the observation in relationality to building upon the space that you are a work in progress. And that modality, like this is what we also like, this is what's going to come up a lot right now, because it's not just, right? It's not just the fact that Saturn has gone direct, but it's direct in Pisces again. So it's like it's hitting us right in the feelings. It's like time, feelings, boom. Let's talk about the non-binary energy headspace right now. 3 cards. 1, 2, 3. Thank you. Ooh, Ace of Pentacles. 7 of Wands. 3 of Pentacles. I'm fine with this. I feel like there's something, I like walking through non-binary energy right now. I feel like there's something important about, I think that it's interesting because everything I keep on seeing right now for non-binary energy is working through Libra energy, is what I keep on getting. It's the, I don't, I need to, I need to investigate this now too, because I need to see what's going on there, because for like, I like this because for a lot of the non-binary energy, I keep on seeing it's working on, like I keep on hearing it's like working on having energetically proportional conversations upon something. And I keep on seeing that for a lot of the energy doing that work, I keep on hearing there's something to be said. It's interesting too, because I want to show you, if you have a chance to look at these cards, I feel like it's important to kind of see it, because I feel like it's a conversation on uniqueness, is what I keep on getting. And I keep on hearing it's a conversation on uniqueness and the illusion of comparison, right? Because the thing is, comparison is a crutch. When we're coming into the space of comparing things, like why would you ever want to compare yourself to someone else, right? Like that is the modality of it. Like think of the absurdity of that, because it's like the understanding or the recognition point in kind of working through the modality of our own proportionality. Like I feel like the healthy thing about this is like that is effectively the type of conversations that the energy is having with others. And as I keep on hearing, like, particularly, and the way that it's effectively impacting relationship is I keep on getting it's like I keep on hearing there's no one-upsmanship in partnership. Like that's what I keep on seeing. It's like I keep on hearing like it's like the type of conversation where another person speaks upon the identification point that positive is energetically positive. Like the space by which we effectively celebrate is the space by which we stop comparing each other to one another, because comparison is I keep wondering, comparison is terrible. It's an awful space to be, right? It doesn't create. I keep on hearing comparison is not creative, because if you need energetic comparison to do something, you're not doing it because you care about it. You're doing it because you're too deeply driven in the realm of the ego, is what I keep on hearing. So I feel like it's interesting that that's coming through a lot in the headspace of that, because I feel like it has a lot to do as well. I feel like it's almost interesting because it feels very much like those, like the energy is having like conversations on what is eclectic. And I keep on getting, and this is what it means by eclectic. Like when we build into eclectic frameworks, it's beautiful, because eclectic frameworks are not built into comparison. They're built into possibility. Now, continuing to get clarification on this, we're going to move back into the masculine heart space. And speaking upon that, I'm actually speaking on eclectic. I feel very drawn to trying to utilize the Smith-Waite system here. Can I get 3 cards, please? We've got the Judgment card in its upright, the 6 of Cups in its upright, and the 7 of Wands in its upright. Oh, God. So, one of the things that we're effectively seeing in relationality to, how do I describe this best? The thing about, like, the thing is, I feel like there's something about masculine, like there's something about masculine heart space right now that I'm identifying in some kind of energetic fear of becoming a cliche, is what I keep on getting. We gotta walk into this a little bit. But this is important too, because, and this is what I meant about, and I feel like this has a lot to do too with the space of masculine, like being, like recognizing when they're being too hard on themselves. Like that's what I mean too. Like I don't know why I kept on hearing the space by which masculine's worried about becoming cliche, but it's the observation, right? It's the observation. I keep on hearing like cliches are cliches for a reason, right? It's the observation in relationality to, like, I feel like that I need to point this thing. I see what's happening here. Like it's the worry or fear. The worry or fear of becoming too saccharine is actually what makes one cliche, is what I keep on getting. Like the thing is, like I keep on getting, in a way, it's like the call coming from inside the house, because I feel like for a lot of masculine energy, it's navigating one's own sense of cringe, right? And I feel like what's hard about that is, and this is what we need to talk about in relationality to like relationships that are healing to a certain extent, because I keep on getting, like the space, I keep on getting like the space by which we worry. Like I keep on hearing like it's working through the understanding that the difficulty point, right? Our ability, like we don't become energetically cliche by becoming cringe. We become cliche when we're not able like when we're not able to navigate through when we're not able to navigate through our own sense of vulnerability, right? Like that's what I keep on saying. And I think that's kind of beautiful. Like I feel like for a lot of masculine energy, like working through the wall of one's own vulnerability is how we communicate. But it can feel terrifying there, right? It's terrifying. Like the ability to be seen feels terrifying because it feels because it feels energetically mortifying. But the thing is, we can survive. I feel like the thing, and that's what's beautiful about having a conversation, right? Like if we have a conversation upon how we feel, right? And then we survive that conversation. It's like you survive the conversation and you're like, oh, there's nothing to worry about. Like it allows, like it immediately allows for the context of restoration. But the thing about it is like it's often like the energy feeling like they have to counteract, they have to counteract the part of them that feels like when they're vulnerable, their first instinct is to fight against it. Right? Like, cause that I keep on hearing like, and this is what I mean about the fact that we need a word, like we need a word to help just determine the vulnerability that feels healthy, right? The vulnerability, right? The instinct of vulnerability that helps one survive versus that same survival instinct that sometimes can ruin and become detrimental to relationships. So I feel like that is a lot of the work that we see that the masculine energy is doing in relationality to like operating in the space by which they're communicating upon their heart space. Now moving towards, and I feel like I would not be surprised if there's masculine energy like having conversations with another person right now about how like what like going through like this is what happens every time I try to talk to you. It's like keep on hearing the energy being like this is what we want to talk to you, but this is what happens. Continuing right to continuing to get clarification. We're going to read. I'm actually going to be using the Aquarian Tarot in the heart space of feminine right now. 3 cards, please. And again, bearing in mind, this is not based on gender, but what one feels most aligned to. Yeah, that makes sense. We got the Hierophant. Oh, man. Whew. We got the World. And we've got the 10. We got the 10 of Swords in its reversal. Now, this is really interesting. Because I want to stress we've got a lot. There's a lot of 10 energy. There's a lot of 10 energy in the feminine heart space right now. I mean, in the feminine energy, and there's a lot. There's 6s and 7s in the masculine. Don't get me started. Because what we're effectively understanding or we're working through right now is, and I kind of want to like the thing I keep on seeing is. For feminine, what I effectively identify is like the thing with feminine energy right now is like, you know, I feel like feminine energy I feel like feminine energy is working on having a lot of compassion for the self is what I keep on seeing. And the thing that's important about that is and we want to effectively recognize and identify what it feels like. The ability to find confidence in the self is the most beautiful characteristic because it's the space by which you stop comparing the self, right? It's the space by which you effectively kind of work like, and it's hard, right? Because especially I keep on seeing I feel like especially for a lot of the energy of the feminine, right? Constantly I keep wondering, they're healing from another person, articulating to them upon what a standard is. And I keep on hearing there's a difference between a standard versus someone trying to articulate a standard that puts you into a point of comparison, right? Because, and I feel like there's a lot of that energy that's effectively identifying and recognizing that the space by which, like the space by which we find ourselves is often one where we stop worrying, like we stop worrying so much upon, and I keep on hearing our worry should be proportional upon what it is that we care about, right? So it's like, this is how we fix our hearts, right? We don't worry so much about the comparison point in terms of how, like, another, but whether we feel energetically whether we feel energetically good with ourselves. And so for a lot of the energy doing that work, I almost feel like this is a time of deep catharsis. But I keep on getting, like, the fact that there's a time of deep catharsis that's effectively happening in these experiences has a lot to do with the space of the energy that is, like, I keep on seeing it. It's almost the energy that is no, I keep wondering, this is energy that is not in the position by which they feel like they need to give someone a pep talk as to, like, the benefits of partnership, is what I keep on getting. This is energy that is healing. This is energy that is healing from, like, the need to effectively feel like one needs to convince another person upon the energetic benefits of relationship. It's the observation, right? It's the observation of what feels energetically, like, it's, I keep on seeing, like, that's the space of the feminine. It's like it's working towards that. And so for a lot of the energy doing that work, I feel like as it relates to relationships, I keep on hearing, like, this is the energy that is focusing on, like, practicality. This is what I meant upon a lot of the energy right now, taking very pragmatic approaches to things. Because what we effectively identify is a lot of the work in that experience has to do with the fact that there's something I keep on seeing that's important, relationality to the feminine, like understanding what feels like, and I keep on hearing like working towards with the difference between an unhealthy cycle versus a healthy routine. And that's what I keep on getting in relationality to that, like, to working through that. And that's why I feel like in a lot of the conversations that they're effectively working through, like, that ability of understanding and recognizing what feels progressive, like, that's a lot of the energy that is working towards like, I keep on hearing unified relationship via progressive conversations. Now this brings us to a lot of the non-binary energy. And for non-binary energy right now, I'm going to be utilizing the Nouveau deck. 3 cards, please. We've got the 8. We got the 8 of Pentacles, the 5 of Wands, and the 9 of Pentacles. I got to tell you right now, like, when you have a moment, make sure, if you're listening to the podcast, make sure that you head over to the spot and take a peek at the cards, because non-binary energy right now is just all Wands and Pentacles. It's just all Wands and Pentacles. And the thing with Wands and Pentacles, I keep on getting, it has to do with the identification point in working towards what feels like energetically composed conversations. And the thing about it, and it's interesting too, because I feel like for a lot of, I'm getting for a lot of that the energy, the ability to effectively identify that. I feel like the difference between having feelings and projecting feelings. It's interesting because, like, for right now, for a lot of that energy, it's feeling very Libra, and it's also feeling very Aquarian. And the thing is, the reason I like to point that out is because oftentimes those with Aquarian placements have a hard time. Like, this is why sometimes those with Aquarian placements are often given the description of feeling energetically cold about things, right? I keep on hearing there's a difference, and this is often something that's hard for those with Aquarian placements. There's a difference between not feeling something and not projecting that feeling is what I keep on seeing. And so I feel like there's something really important upon the energy in relationality to working through. I keep wondering, like, working through their own sense of proportionality in relationality to composure. And and the reason I keep on seeing this is because I just keep on getting, like, I keep on hearing the energy almost saying that they don't have the luxury. I keep on hearing they don't have the luxury of being emotional is what I keep on hearing. And the reason I keep on getting that is because, and I keep on seeing this too, the space by which the space by which I keep on, and this is, we're gonna work through this because it has a lot to do with trauma, which is the space by which they work in terms of being energetically, like, having logic. You know what I mean? Like, I keep on seeing a lot of this energy that works towards being logical. And it's almost like, I feel like in a way, it's like the logic is painful because I keep on seeing, like, the logic that they bring to things is often having to protect themselves from others' irrational emotions and relationality towards them is what I keep on seeing, right? And so I keep on seeing that for a lot of the energy, it's like, it's painful because it's almost like the energy articulating in relationships, saying this logic, someone being like, wow, you're so logical, and being like, yeah, well, that like, the logic is its form. It's like like the energy was like, it was necessary. Like, the logic was necessary in order to survive emotionally fraught territory is what I keep on seeing. So for a lot of the energy doing that work, it's painful because I want to point this out, like, when Saturn, like Saturn going direct in Pisces can have a lot of feelings that open up, you know, and it's painful when somebody says to you something as a compliment, right? And you like, oh, that's so, you know, like, it's so nice. And you being like, yeah, it's not nice circumstances did not render where that came from. But I'm glad that it's like the energy that's working on healing the heart space. And I feel like a lot of that, but I keep on getting, it's a very refined sense of healing because it's built upon and based upon a lot of feelings of energetic isolation. And I keep on seeing it's almost like the it's almost like almost the energy being it's almost like the energy of, it's almost the situation of someone, you know, saying to another person, you're so cold, right? And another person, like, navigating the coldness of something and saying, like, the coldness that you find it's not where you find them. It's conditional on working towards vulnerability. I keep wondering, you can't rush vulnerability, right? You can't rush feeling energetically vulnerable with someone because the space by which you feel vulnerable is conditional upon feeling the space by which you can trust circumstances or situations. So I keep on seeing that for a lot of the energy doing that work, it's painful, right? Because I keep on seeing it's like the energy that wishes, like they're working on healing from trauma, but I keep on seeing they're also utilizing that same sense of vulnerability as, like, I keep on hearing, like, the vulnerability is guiding them in the direction of what safe feels like, right? Continuing to get clarification, working towards the heart, going back to the heart space of the masculine. Again, bearing in mind this is not based on gender, but what one feels most aligned to. Can I please get 3 cards, please? And we're going to be doing the Aquarian tarot for the unconscious of the masculine right now. And do you see, every time, you see what happened? Every time I start reading right now for masculine energy, hard to communicate. Like, and this is the thing, man. Like, listen. And I feel like there's an inner child wound behind the inability of masculine to communicate. And it has a lot to do, like it has a lot to do, and this is how feminine also has to recognize and identify their own part in the vulnerability of masculine, right? Like you can't, like feminine cannot be in the space by which they say that they desire masculine to be in a space of vulnerability and then come into a space of mockery when masculine does so, right? The way that if we want each other's hearts to be fixed, the way that we fix each other's hearts is that we always hold them carefully. We always hold them tenderly. So I keep on seeing that for a lot of the energy there, it's like I keep on getting, it feels a lot like there's despair here, because, and this is often what happens, right? Like this is what we talk about in terms of healing a trust wound. I know how hard it is to heal a trust wound, because often when we heal a trust wound, it's the recognition point that being vulnerable, like if we're vulnerable and someone hurts our heart, the failure point was never us, right? It's never a failure point in being vulnerable, but rather the observation in relationality to how another person energetically navigates that vulnerability, right? The observation of effectively being able to articulate and identify. Like I keep on hearing like the masculine saying, as long as masculine is respective of understanding that the energy of care is navigating another person's wishes, right? The space by which we understand and identify what that feels like, the space by which we articulate upon that force, then it's never a mistake when we're vulnerable. And if that vulnerability isn't met if it isn't met with proportional recognition or empathy for the vulnerability, the failure point is discernment, right? And so this is a lot of the energy of masculine, like working to heal the heart space by understanding that, you know, we become energetically brave in that way, right? Like that sense of bravery that we effectively identify or recognize is one that effectively allows us to articulate upon something. But even in the articulation of it, right, how another person receives our vulnerability does not change the value or nature of the gift by which we proceed to give it. Now, this then brings us to the feminine energy. I'm going to be doing the Nouveau spread for feminine's unconscious. And again, bearing in mind, this is not based on gender, but what it feels most aligned to. Yeah, so with feminine energy, I feel like I see a lot of the feminine energy. Like, I feel like energy of the feminine is healing from wounds of negligence. And what do we often identify? You know, it's easy to hide a negligent wound in comparison, right? Like the modality or the experience of, I keep on getting the modality or experience by which we add, like the modality or experience by which we add some kind of nature of competition to things is everything I keep on seeing there. It's like working through the proportionality of understanding and identifying that, like the good, good is found through doing something that is profound, is what I keep on getting. And this is affecting the nature of the relationships in terms of what feminine is trying to build towards, right? This is a lot of the feminine that's working to heal. Like when you are in a space of allowing another person to compare you to someone else, never are you further from being able to understand what a gift you are, right? We are all energetically unique. and our ability of effectively finding, right? Like finding that sense of purpose, right? It's the space by which I keep on hearing, it brings us back. I keep on hearing it, and like that is also how I see a lot of the feminine energy is healing, because it's the space by which you navigate the fear, or you navigate the concern about something, and then you just immediately energetically release it, right? It's almost like the space by which you find that productivity point, you find that point of balance within the self. And I think that this is important because I keep on seeing this in conversations in relationality to feminine healing upon relationship right now, because I almost feel like there's feminine energy that is healing from wounds where they recognize that they were not holding themselves preciously because they were overly comparing themselves to others around the self. So I keep on hearing there's a lot of the energy right now of feminine that is like working through a lot of this space. And I keep on, and this is often, like I keep on hearing, like this is often why I feel like there's something important in relationality to feminine, like leading conversations on relationship by being able to articulate and define the aspiration of the relationship, rather than the identification point or the qualities and characteristics of the energetic person by which they are working to build it with, right? There's something very energetically beautiful there in the space by which the feminine is, I keep on getting like the feminine is being or allowing the context. And I keep on hearing it's not the fact. I keep on hearing it's not the fact. And you see what I'm trying to articulate here? It's the space by which the feminine is effectively healing because they're holding themselves preciously, right? It's the space by which they're articulating and building more upon what they want, right? I keep on hearing building more upon what they want than what they are energetically looking for. And I see that masculine is also doing that. And that brings us to non-binary energy. Can I please get 3 cards? And we're going to be using the traditional Smith-Waite deck for the unconscious space of the masculine right now. we got the 8. Wow, this is wild. Guys, make sure that, wow, okay, whoa. All right, so walking, like when we're talking towards the non-binary energy right now, we've got double 8s. So so feminine right now has a lot of 10 energy. Non-binary has a lot of 8 energy. And again, most of the non-binary cards right now are in the space of pentacles, which is, again, it's like I keep on hearing it's working towards something that feels energetically logical. You know, when I literally, like, the thing about this here is it's interesting because I keep on seeing, like, for a lot of this energy, just like taking logical approaches to things. Like, I keep wondering, like taking logical approaches to things never fails the self, because I keep on seeing the ability of navigating through, like I keep wondering, logical relationship. Logical relationship is sustainable relationship because it's something that is energetically consistent. And I keep on hearing it allows the ability of working through that consistency. But this is what I mean in terms of like non-binary energy, like working through the context of seeing others. And I keep on hearing, when we don't feel energetically satisfied, right, we often become very frenetic, right? I keep on hearing, like, it creates those experiences by which it seems that we are searching for something, is what I keep on getting. And here's the thing about it. Like the search, and I keep on hearing like, and this is why I keep on seeing that a lot of this energy works very carefully in terms of building into relationship, because the search, like the search of the things that we should search for in relationship should always be internal, is what I keep on getting. Like it's the search, I keep wondering, it's the search for something energetically internal that allows for something to become profound, right? It's working through a lot of that energy. But the thing I keep on seeing in relationality to, like the thing I keep on seeing in relationality to experiences is working through those moments or those situations or circumstances wherein another, like I keep on hearing, like looks for identity through energetic connection. And that's what I keep on getting is like, and I feel like there's something really significant and important there, because I keep on getting that for a lot of the non-binary energy, it almost feels like working through the space by which one, one, like I keep on hearing like they're even more conscientious and careful in relationality to what they build upon, because I keep on seeing that it's like I keep on hearing they're looking for intentional relationships, not relationships built upon or based upon curiosity, because I keep on getting that that's what I meant about them taking logic based approaches to things, because navigating through another person's volatility, right? When we move into relationship and we don't know ourselves, a lot of feelings come up. And then if we're not in the space by which we can navigate those feelings properly, those feelings begin to hurt those around the self. So I keep on seeing that for a lot of the energy, they're almost articulating situations by which they navigate circumstances carefully, because they're very conscientious of the fact that they're often the source of others' projections. And so I keep on seeing that ability of working through and doing so, it's hard, it's painful. There are wounds there, and a lot of those wounds, like I keep on hearing, a lot of those wounds feel like they're energetic amplification points in relationality to what it is that they themselves are working to. Like it's like almost the energy that says, like if they're working to understand the self, they want that same level of introspection in the energy of those that they are building with. Bottom of the deck on these readings right now. For masculine energy, we are going to be utilizing this. We're going to be reading bottom of the deck, Smith Waite. Yeah, yeah, we've got here the Four of Cups in its reversal. And it's interesting because there's a Four of Wands in its upright. And so the thing with the Four of Cups, the Four of Cups in its reversal has to do, the Four of Cups in its reversal has to do with I keep on getting, you know, it's working through, it's interesting because like it's working through the importance of practice, right? And the hard part with practice is that often when you're practicing something, like the thing is, I need to stress this. The only way you get good at something is if you are invested in sucking at it. It's like that's the only way that you get good at something, okay? Like if you're not resting on the laurels of what you can just naturally do, the only way that one's ability at getting better at something is directly proportional with how much of a fool that you're willing to look like to be as you kind of improve upon it, right? It's almost like having to embrace fool energy, right? Because it's like, you know, it's like you're like, okay, here, like I'm now going to do something and I'm going to be awful at it. It's fine. And then you do that again and again and again. And it's like, and this is what often happens when we're improving, right? It's unfortunate that like the sound of us improving is rarely in us doing what we aspire to do, but just slowly getting less awful, like slowly getting less awful is how we become awesome, is what I keep on getting. It's rough, I know. Unless you got like, again, unless you're gifted, unless you just like appear like sometimes, again, it's a difference between a gift and a talent. Some people are like, ta-da, like they can just do something naturally. But like literally, the only way you can get good at something, your level or degree of embracing your awfulness is what makes you awesome. Right. And you have to put yourself out there. You got to be, it's like, you gotta roll with it. Right. And it's awful because it often makes you feel awful as you're navigating it. But that's also how you get better at it. Right. Because the more that we do things, the more that we do something, the more we learn, right? The more we grow, the more that it's like, and again, it sometimes feels like we don't see our progress until we see how far we've come. So I feel like there's something really energetically important about that. I feel like there's something important about, again, working through a lot of this retrograde season and not seeing, right? And I feel like that's a hard thing with, like, I need to point this out. The hard thing with the retrograde that we're experiencing right now with Mercury retrograding, Venus passing before Venus passing before Mercury, and then Saturn, right? Saturn going direct in Pisces, right? It can often feel like those modalities or those moments or experiences by which we don't feel our energetic best, or we often get too hard on ourselves in relationality to what we aspire to versus where we actually find ourselves. But we navigate that with a sense of, again, proportionality. So I feel like the observation of understanding, and that's why I keep on hearing, like, and when we say like it's just practice, it's like practice is all there is, right? Like practice is what we apply ourselves to. And so I feel like there's something about that. And I feel like it has something to do with the relationships by which, like, masculine is working towards, like the observation of kind of understanding that there's more for us to know and being able to take that approach. Like I keep on hearing, you can't practice something unless you know that there's something that you don't know, because like it's the space by which you can grow is what I keep on getting. For feminine, can I please get bottom of the deck on this? We've got the Aquarian Tarot. Yeah, we've got the Six of Cups in its reversal. I keep on seeing feminine is just sick of people. Sorry. But I mean, like, the thing is, it's like I keep on seeing feminine can't fix other people's hearts. I know you want to. It's not your responsibility to fix another person's heart. You can't fix it. That's their job, right? It stinks when we have to encounter someone who's making us have to bear the brunt of the experience of another person. And this is why, again, I feel like this is the feminine energy that often feels like the space by which energy projects is the space by which another person says you're all the same. Do you know how much, like, the space by which another person, I keep wondering, like, the space by which another person puts us in the bucket of everything they've experienced by using, I keep on hearing, be using the past you is what I keep on hearing, right? And I keep on hearing, like, that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about with feminine, being fed up, like I keep on hearing being fed up with being another person's you, which is the space by which another person utilizes the self to build a narrative that becomes energetically universal on everything they've experienced. And I keep on hearing you can't get anywhere, right? And this is also feminine realizing too that we don't do that in any way. And we need to talk about this more, right? This is why the way you want to heal relationships, stop saying all men, stop saying all women, because that is the song of you giving up on things, right? Like the space by which we articulate or define, and we can express our frustration, right? We can express our frustration in relationality to the past. But the moment that we bucket the present with the past. We build a wall of impossibility that makes it harder to be able to do something new because we're front loading the cynicism in relationality to what we've come to expect. And I almost feel like this is the energy of the healed feminine having conversations of that nature, not only to masculine, but potentially to anybody, to feminine too, like anybody doing that. It doesn't matter. It's what I keep on seeing. It's the ability, right? It's the ability of squandering the expectation with the narrative of what one has experienced, right? Now for non-binary energy, bottom of the deck, we're using the Nouveau deck. We've got the Queen of Wands in its reversal, right? And this is what I effectively like this is a lot of the non-binary energy, feeling and working towards acting as shield by bearing the brunt of other people's projections, right? For a lot of, like, I just keep on saying, for a lot of that energy, working through those situations or circumstances, right? The feeling, I keep on seeing, like, this is almost the energy that says they gave up on fitting in a long time ago, right? Because again, if you want to like effectively heal in relationality to, like, if you want to heal in relationality to fitting in, I keep on hearing healing and fitting in are rarely, healing and fitting in are rarely in the same experience, right? It's the ability to effectively identify what feels energetically healthy. And so I keep on seeing that for a lot of the energy doing this work as it relates to relationship, I keep on seeing that, like, they're very conscientious in relationality to, building upon the experience. I keep on hearing, like, building upon experiences where others do not articulate that they are energetic burdens. And I keep on saying, because there's been many modalities by which another person articulated that they were a burden, not because they were a burden, but because they made them feel things, complicated things that they didn't want to feel. And I keep on hearing, like, that is the energy that basically says, if you articulate that I'm a burden, right? And that's why that's why there's, like, you see all the pentacles. This now makes sense with all the pentacles. Look at all the pentacles. Look at all the pentacles. They're like, would you please define your burden? Would you please define what you mean by, I can't hear you. I'm sorry. I can't hear the word burden. I can't, it's too loud. There's too many pentacles. I'm sorry. I can't hear the word burden because of all these pentacles that are surrounding me, which is the energy that has worked I told you that, remember how I said there needs to be a word? Masculine energy is looking for the word between the vulnerability that keeps you safe versus the vulnerability that breaks things. This is the non-binary energy going, like, protecting themselves from that, because it's the identification point in relationality to another person saying that they're a burden, and being like, it's not this type of burden. Right? I'm not responsible if you articulate that I'm a burden because I make you feel weird things. That's something that you need to figure out. Like, is what I keep on seeing. It's like the energy. It's like, and that's why there's so many of these. I was like, why are all these pentacles here? That's why. And we've got, like, literally, we've got, like, double eights here. So that's giving a lot of the clarity on that. There's so many. There's so many pentacles in this reading. That is our that is our divine energy. But I feel like that's the thing about it, though, right? It's the energy that's like, it doesn't want to be like that. But the energy is almost like saying to another person, my vulnerability is a gift. But the vulnerability is a gift for someone who's ready to navigate the complication of feelings that effectively arrive around it, is what I keep on seeing, right? Like, that's why the energy is in that modality. And it's like the space by which they're healing. Like, that's almost like the source of a lot of that healing journey. It's the energy that says, like, you find me it's like the energy that says, like, you find someone effective because they've been working to help another person demarcate the difference between what a burden is. and that's painful, but I keep on seeing the space by which they've worked that out for themselves. It's just, it's something that's hard because I keep on getting, it's not heart healing. It's sacral healing. It's like the energy that almost says I've like the capacity by which they've arrived into that was not one that was amplified by choice, so much as necessity. That is where we find all of that. Is our daily collective read for today. I want to thank you guys so much for being here and experiencing it. Just a reminder, if you want to book a private reading with me, it is a 2-step process. You have to book the reading and you have to pay for the reading. Please make sure you do both if you'd like to have that reading. Please keep in mind, also, please keep in mind that I will never, ever, 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 ever reach out to you for a private reading. I will never DM you. I will never PM you. I will never slide into your inbox and tell you that I have a very important message that only I can deliver. The only way you can book a reading with me is if you book one on my site. So I'd encourage you to do it there. A couple of updates before we move into personal readings today. First and foremost, thank you to everyone who attended our recent class on the Sun card. Our next class will be occurring on Thursday, December 18th at 6 p.m. PST, 9 p.m. Eastern. We will be continuing our studies in the tarot with a focus on the Judgment card. If you would like to become a part of that tarot class program, all you need to do is head on over to my stack and become a paid subscriber. Your paid subscription to my stack is your ticket of entry into our live classes each and every month. You will also, as a paid subscriber, have access, as a paid monthly subscriber, have access to over 9 hours worth of material in the Tarot Church Library Class Archive. Now, it's not necessary to catch up. I'll be doing my best to give you an update on everything we've studied prior to beginning that next class, but it's a lovely time to join because you've got a whole month before that next class. If you want to study anything that we are studying, you'll also have access to, and if you become a founding member, not only will you have access to over 20 hours worth of material in the library, you'll also have a discount to the entire year's worth of classes. You'll also have the option of receiving a complimentary one-on-one mentorship class with me, where I will meet with you personally to assess where you are on your own personal tarot journey and give you the best insights in terms of how to utilize those classes to the best impact moving towards your tarot goals going forward. One of the things I tried to do in these classes was make them accessible to the absolute novice tarot reader as well as the seasoned reader. There's definitely something there for everyone. Don't let your lack of experience or your robust experience prevent you from joining us in these classes. And even if you don't become a paid subscriber to my stack, I would encourage you to follow me there to stay up to date on any new offerings or services. I also post my weekly newsletter there, which will let you know about my in-person events as well as my online live schedule. I also want to let you guys know as well, I would like to take the opportunity to invite you to our retreat that is coming up this August. We are going to be going on a tarot retreat, heading over to the cradle by which we found where the tarot was first discovered in Italy. We will be traveling to Florence, Tuscany, and Rome to be able to understand the culture by which allowed for the ability for the tarot to find a home. We'll also be doing a lot of work in relationality to mentorship. Everyone who attends that retreat will be receiving free mentorship readings with me. And if you'd like to become a part of that, all you need to do is head over to my stack. You will find the link there to be able to sign up for that retreat. It's going to be an absolutely beautiful time, and I look forward to potentially seeing you there. I also want to let you guys know that on top of my standard life path readings, I also offer mentorship classes. These are for any of my students seeking a more personalized educational experience with me. I take a very limited number of students for this reason, as those classes are focused on each individual's personal spiritual goals and journey work. Those classes can be purchased on an individual level or as a monthly class series, weekly or bi-weekly as your schedule permits. Also, for my students seeking more consistent weekly tarot support, I'm very happy to offer weekly tarot insight packages. That is a package of 4 30-minute readings, again, weekly or bi-weekly as your schedule permits, so that you can stay more consistent on your personal journey. I'm also very happy to now offer dream interpretations, which you can purchase per dream or as a series. If you purchase the series, I would encourage you to start to keep a dream journal, as we will meet weekly or bi-weekly with that journal and utilize the tarot to understand the key themes and messages coming towards you in the dream space. I want to thank you guys so much for being here today and sharing in these messages, and we will do this again